there's been this new term. It's called the new norm. And when I think about it, I think, Denise, what is it that comes across your mind when you think the new norm? Some of the things, quite honestly, is that some of us are going to have to step out of our comfort zones. We've been sitting in places far too comfortable, far too long, and we're going to have to step out, and there's going to be new innovation and ways of approaching new innovations that are going to be a little different from what we've been used to. Yeah. So I like photography, and one of the reasons I like photography is because photography pushes me to think differently. Because in photography, one of the rules is that before you even pull the shutter, you have to have the vision of what that end picture is going to look like. So in essence, you have to start at the end and then work yourself back and then work backwards. However, one day I was out shooting. I have a 35 millimeter digital and I have a 35 millimeter film camera, a 3 1/4, and I've shot with a 4x5. And each one of those cameras requires a different approach to how you take the picture. But anyway, one day I'm out and I'm shooting with my 35 digital camera. And most of the time I'm focusing on what's on the front of me and shooting and focusing and all that. But then this thought came across my mind. It's like, Denise, when you're walking, just whenever you get the urge, just turn around and start firing at anything that's in your, just focus and shoot, focus and shoot. And so I did that. I just would walk and just suddenly just turn around and just start focusing and shooting. And then when I looked at the pictures, the interesting thought was that some of the pictures were really cool. Some of them were failures, what we would call failures, but then there were some really cool pictures that I wouldn't have seen had I just kept following the same rules as that were initially. So I knew the rules, but I also knew when to break the rules. The other part is that in photography, you have to also know how to start at the end point and then work backwards. That's a different approach that most of us are used to thinking. So 3 things. In this new norm, we're going to have to get used to working outside of our comfort zone, which means that the things that we've been used to doing, some of us are going to have to do them differently. And that's going to be uncomfortable for a few of us. Secondly, I talked about, as in photography, understanding the vision. Do you know, like most visionaries start at the end and then work backwards because they already have the vision in their head of what they want. And all they can see is, what do I need to do to get to this endpoint? When most people are starting at the beginning and working to the end, which is probably why sometimes visionaries and others that don't have the vision have a hard time connecting. And most of it because as a visionary, you don't know the language. I mean, you don't even know how to explain what you're seeing, because you're seeing something totally different that you may not even, the words to express or to define or to put structure around what you're seeing, it hasn't even been created yet because it's new. You're really into something new. Wow, new. Which means that as a visionary, those that are visionaries are going to have to figure out how to create language to help others understand. And those that are at the beginning stages are going to have to get out of their comfort zone a little more and figure out, how do I hear differently so when this visionary is speaking, I can follow and be comfortable stepping into places that may not be fully defined. In reality, we've been calling things innovative, and we've been doing the same approaches, using the same experiences, starting from the same end. And when we're doing that, is that really innovation? I don't know. But I do know that there are some of you out there that have been feeling something different in the pit of your stomach. And you've been feeling it for a long time. And your scary part of all of this COVID and coronavirus is that at the end, you're going to go back doing the same thing the same way. And you know deep down that you've been feeling this urge to do something and approach stuff differently, you're going to have to make that move. You're going to have to step out of that comfort zone and do that new thing. Everybody's not going to do it. Some of us are going to go back. Some people are going to go back, do the same thing the same way, and maybe tweak it a little bit, maybe change the color, maybe change the style of it. But then there's a remnant of people that are really going to take a step out and say, I can't go back. I just refuse to go back. I just really need to step into a whole different way of looking at things, approaching things, and I need to really be innovative. I really need to come up with something different that has not been done before. And that, my friends, is going to take courage. But to be honest, I really don't think that you're going to settle for anything less. And quite honestly, I don't think the world is going to be okay if you settle for anything less, because we honestly need innovation, and I mean real innovation. God bless, and hang in there.